Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Relationship Communications Weekly Live. I'm Lisa DeToffel, your host, and today we're going to be talking about clear communication, which is very, very important in the professional world. Thanks for joining me, and if you are joining for the first time, I am the founder of Relationship Communications, where I coach and mentor established and aspiring professionals to help them create, grow, and scale their network. Relationship Communications Weekly Live is a tactical and practical show that we do every week at the same time, every Friday morning at 10 a.m. So I hope you'll put this on your calendar and make plans to join us. And if you are joining me live, I would love to hear from you. So say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. If you're not a part of the Relationship Communications free Facebook group, head on over to Facebook, type Relationship Communications in the search bar, and it should bring it up. There's a banner at the top with my photo on it. We would love to welcome you in there. We're very active in the Facebook group. We post questions, videos, all the different things. So we'd love to have you over in the Facebook group if you're not already a member. So we are sponsored by Tiger Eye Solution, my virtual assistant business. And at Tiger Eye Solution, we work with speakers, coaches, and professionals to help them grow their business. So they can be the CEO and do what they love to do within their business. And we do this virtually and in our online community. So before we dive into our topic today, I am going to introduce myself in a moment. However, I also want to make a couple announcements, and I'll make them again at the end. The Relationship Communications has a VIP club. VIP club means that you get direct access to me and other VIP members, and we meet twice a month. We have a Q&A session during one of our meetings where you can bring any and all of your questions around being a business owner, the professional world, etc., to that meeting, and we'll get those questions answered. And it's not just me answering your questions, it's everyone in the room. So it's really great to have that opportunity. The second time that we meet every month is a party. We celebrate all our wins, big or small, no matter how big they are, no how small they are, and then also set our goals for the next month. So that VIP club is also getting ready to go to the next level. I am currently working on that. So if you'd like more information about the VIP club, please let me know. Or I'll also be posting about it in the Facebook group. That is a paid club to be a part of. It is $27 a month to be a member of the VIP club. However, it is very, very worth it. So I would love to have you come join us in the VIP club. Also, if you are just starting out with your networking, I also want to remind you that the Networking Method Academy is currently still open to the end of May. If you are looking to upgrade or start making the most of your networking efforts as you are moving forward in your business, I would love to invite you to come join the Networking Method Academy. It is a 6-month program, and you do get access to me for those 6 months. It has 10 modules, a lot of content and videos and downloadables, all the different things. And you do go through it at your own pace. However, we do a study hall once a week for you to come and meet with me and ask any questions you may have or discuss any issues as you're going through the program. So if you'd like to learn more about that, I'd be happy to share that with you as well. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. This was me almost 6 years ago. I was actually a teacher, a preschool teacher in a classroom. And for over 25 years, this was the last classroom that I was a part of. But I was a teacher for over 25 years. And I learned a lot during those 25 years, teaching and interacting with, various different children, for sure, as they were getting started on their education journey. So, and a few of these I have recognized over on Facebook recently as getting ready to start middle school. So it's been a minute since these little ones was in this classroom, but that also makes me very happy and very proud of these students, that they are succeeding as they are moving forward in their education journey. And it starts with communication and building relationships. We're going to talk about clear communication in just a few minutes. Excuse me. So communicating, whether it's with children in a classroom or with your people that's in your network or your industry, whatever the case may be for you, it is very, very important. Building relationships is very, very important. Because to be honest, with my virtual assistant business, most of the clients I receive are from referrals. I don't go out cold calling or cold spamming people, messaging people or whatever to try to find clients. They're referred to me because of those relationships that I have built along the way with other people. They get to know me, they know what I do, and so they refer others to me. And that's how I get most of my clients, is through referrals. That's where the communication piece comes in. That's very, very important. You have to have those conversations and have clear communication when you're talking to those people and telling them about who you are and what you do, what your business is, etc. Right? That's exactly what I learned being a teacher over 25 years, how to communicate. Now, the way I communicated back then was a little bit different because I was speaking with children. I had to kind of get down on their level, so it was a different form of communication for sure. But they had to understand me and I had to understand them. And sometimes that was hard. 3 and 4-year-olds are just starting to learn a lot of, words and put things in sentences, etc. So yeah, sometimes it took time with one specific student to get the message across, or to, some kids are shy. Some adults are shy. I'm an introvert myself. So, until I get to know you, I'm probably not going to really open up and, share a lot of things with you, whether it's from my personal life or my professional life. So, kids are that way too, especially small ones. They are very shy going into a new atmosphere and learning new things. So you have to keep all that in mind as well when you are starting to communicate. Like I said, this was me 6 years ago as a preschool teacher, actually ending my career as a teacher and celebrating all the different relationships that I had built over those years. And then also during those 25 years, I was a single mother twice. This is me and my 3 children during one of those times that I was a single mother. I was married twice. My boys came from my first marriage. My daughter came from my second marriage. There was a lot of ups and downs and everything in between in both of those marriages. But these 3 were definitely worth it for sure. So, and then this is what my family looks like today. My 3 children, Caleb, Matthew, and Alyssa. Caleb is a firefighter and the father of these beautiful twins you see Jeff and I holding. That's JP and Hattie. And then Matthew is getting ready to become a father in the next month or so. We will have grandbaby number 3. And then Alyssa just finished her junior year in high school. So she is now a rising senior for next year. So a lot of different things going on in my world. And then, of course, in 2018 is when I started my virtual assistant business. I did take a training and earned a certification and started Tiger Eye Solution. And in the beginning, I was actually an author assistant, and I still can work with authors. But over time, I learned how important the relationship management and follow-up is in the professional world. So that's kind of my niche area and what I enjoy doing the most. And then, of course, after the pandemic hit, I decided to build a team. So in 2021 is when my actual team was built and put together. And I still have that team today. Well, not the same team, but I still do have a team today. I do have one member of my team that has been with me since 2021 when I first built a team. But currently we have 11 on our team, the Tiger Eye Solution team, including myself. So there's an array of different types of services that we can help you with. If you'd like to learn more about Tiger Eye Solution and what they have to offer, I'd invite you to go to our new website that just launched this week, tigereyesolution.com. There's a lot in there. You can learn about what we have to offer and view our new website, which is really, really great and is really beautiful. So let's dive into our topic today, clear communications. You can be the smartest person in the room, but unless you are an effective communicator, people will not want to work with you. I'll say that again. You can be one of the smartest people in the room, but unless you are an effective communicator, people will not want to work with you. Now, I'm as guilty of this as the next person. Because like I said, I'm an introvert. So if I'm at a in-person event, sometimes it takes me a minute before, I can walk up to people and start talking. But that is very, very important to be an effective communicator, okay? Communicating is more than using sophisticated phrases or speaking with proper grammar. It is using words to create a bond with people that you are talking with, okay? In most cases, effective communication has more to do with how well you listen rather than how well you speak. Listening is very important in a conversation as well. Yes, you want to let them know who you are and what your business is and what you do, but then you won't stop talking. Share that simple information. I'm Lisa DeToffel. Tiger Eye Solution is my virtual assistant business, and I offer graphics, copywriting, and social media assistance. Normally, I share just 3. Do we offer more than 3 things? Absolutely, yes, we do. But I don't want to overwhelm the person that I'm talking to. So I'll share 3 different services that we actually offer. And then I'll stop talking and give them opportunity to respond to that, ask questions if, they have a question about what I had just said, or they can go ahead and start telling me about themselves and their business and what they do. So again, in most cases, effective communication has more to do with how well you listen rather than how well you speak. If you listen to what other people have to say and ask the right questions, people will want to continue talking to you. And in some cases, if you're at an online event, you may not have enough time to get in a lengthy conversation to get to know each other better. So you might want to schedule another call with that person, a one-on-one, a coffee chat, like I like to call it, after that event is over. Because usually if you're at online events and sometimes in personal events, you only have X amount of time to actually speak with people and introduce yourself to them. So if it's someone of interest to you and you think, you would like to further that conversation and possibly start building a relationship with that person, then definitely ask, can we schedule a time to talk, after this event is over, or would you have time maybe to go to lunch one day to where we can talk further? Extend that invitation to further the conversation or to continue the conversation, okay? Every time you network, you are really showing off your personality more so than your knowledge of your business. Let me say that again. Every time you network, whether it's in person or online, you are really showing off your personality more so than the knowledge of your business. And that is very, very important as well, and can be very beneficial also. So asking the right questions is a much better sign of intelligence than trying to answer every question asked of you. Instead of making long-winded answers to which the other person probably isn't interested, keep them short and always bring the conversation back to them. In other words, when you're asking your questions, make sure your question is directed to them, and about them and their business, right? They share, they have been selling insurance. How long have you been doing that? Their business is in the insurance industry or whatever. What made you want to work in this industry? In other words, what part of your job do you like or enjoy or whatever, right? So if you show a genuine interest in what they say and how they do business, they will remember and keep you in mind for the future. They may or may not need what you have to offer right now, but if you're showing genuine interest in them and what they do, then they're going to remember who you are. Okay? Now, that does not mean don't do any type of follow-up. That's not what that means at all. Yes, you do want to make that type of an impression on those people you're talking to, but you definitely also want to do your follow-up later as well. Okay? In addition to what you say, you're also giving off messages through nonverbal communication. What clothes you have on and even how you wear your hair can tell something about your personality and how you work. When you are conversing and you constantly look at your phone or at other people in the room, your actions will be noticed. They're going to assume that you're not interested in anything that they have to say. So they're not going to remember who you are. You're not going to be very important to them, right? If that's what your actions are showing them, right? So actions are also important, not just the words that you're using when you speak. Everything you do when you meet people is taken into account. People usually form their opinion of you in the first few minutes after they have met you. Okay? So you definitely want to make sure you're dressed appropriately. If you go to an in-person networking event, dress up, wear office attire. Now, if you work remotely, like I do, you don't necessarily have to dress in office attire every single day. It just depends on what you're doing, because I clearly don't. However, if I am going to a in-person networking event or going to meet someone for lunch, and it's a business type of lunch, then I'm going to dress up. I'm going to wear my office attire, okay? People usually form an opinion, like I said, of you in the first few minutes of the meeting. That could take weeks or months to even change. Like if you're not dressed in office attire and they say, well, they don't take their business very important, then you're most likely not going to be able to change their mind, or it's going to take a very, very long time in order for you to change their mind or their opinion or their outlook on you, okay, as a professional. That is why it is so important to always put your best foot forward when you meet people. That's why from the beginning, you just want to go ahead, right? Speak clearly when you are speaking to them and telling them who you are and what you do, etc. Don't overshare. Don't say too much when you are speaking to people, and make sure you are dressed professionally. If you're in person, of course. Well, even if you're online, you still want to look professional too. So you never know when you will meet that business changing contact at a meeting or a networking club or online meeting. You never know who that next person might be. So you always want to be prepared ahead of time, okay? So best practices for networking. Effective networkers point to a number of best practices that help them obtain maximum effectiveness from their networking efforts in both traditional and online settings, which means both in person and online, no matter where you're networking, okay? First and foremost is having a goal for your networking or a specific purpose for making connections. And when you go to a business meeting or a network meeting, for instance, consider ahead of time what your networking goal will be. Okay, do you want to go in here and meet 10 new people or 5 new people? Normally, for me, since I am an introvert, I set a goal of 5. If I'm going to an in-person networking event, I will set that goal of meeting 5 new people while I'm there. And usually that's not hard to do, especially if you go into an in-person networking event. There's usually like a room full of people, right? Then I just make sure I meet 5 of them before I leave. Usually either before the meeting or after the meeting, they give you the opportunity to network with the people in the room, right? Now, most meetings are a structured meeting, so they have X, Y, and Z of what they're going to do, or they have a specific speaker that's going to speak, what have you. But there's always time either beforehand, before the meeting starts, or afterwards, after the meeting is over, that they give you the opportunity to work the room, if you will, and go and speak and meet other professionals that are there at that specific meeting. So you want to take advantage of that. And like I said, being an introvert like me, it may be a little hard, but you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So set you a goal of how many new people you want to meet. Now, some networking events I go to, I already know some of the people because I have been to that same networking event in the past. So if I already know some of the people, those people don't count. I have to meet 5 new people I do not know, people I have not met before, etc. So yeah, set you a goal when you go in there for sure. So I lost my place. So sorry. So first and foremost is having a goal of your networking and being specific with it for sure. Okay, of how many new people you want to meet. Most importantly, saying, being generous and thinking more about what you have to give instead of what you have to gain from your networking efforts is also important. In other words, when you go to these meetings, you want to be in a giving, for lack of a better term, a giving atmosphere. You want to give what you can, share what you can. Not too much, but share what you can with those that you are talking to, okay? And not thinking of, oh, what can they give me? Or can this person become my client? You are there to build a relationship. You're not there to gain clients, because from building those relationships is going to lead to you gaining clients, okay? So you are there to meet new people and start relationships with new people, okay? That's what you're there for. Ineffective networkers can come across insincere or self-motivating, in other words, which can turn off those whom they most wish to connect with. So you don't want to go in there and be all about me, right? You want to be giving and interested, like I spoke of before. Make sure you're showing interest in that other person and what they do, okay? So sincere interest in others is key, as is following up after the meeting to stay in touch by offering information that your new connection will find useful. Maybe mention to them that you have a newsletter, a monthly newsletter, bi-weekly newsletter, whatever it is, and say, could I add you to my newsletter list? I share a lot of information in my newsletter that you might find useful. If you don't find it useful, you can always unsubscribe, right? So there's quite a few things if you're in a conversation, okay? The future of networking. Now, social media has had a significant impact on networking opportunities, for sure. In the past, it would have been literally impossible to quickly and inexpensively develop relationships with people across the country or even around the world. And to be honest, I have made all kinds of connections with people in other countries around the world. I even have 2 team members out of Canada. Now, if there wasn't for social media or online, how would I have met those people? I wouldn't have, right? So I have quite a few connections in other countries, okay? And I'm sure you do as well if you have been networking for a while, or if you're just getting started, no worries. You will have those opportunities to meet people in other countries as well and start building those relationships. So, like I said, it would be impossible to quickly and inexpensively develop relationships with people in other countries or around the world. However, social networking now makes this communication possible, right? That's where I met these ladies, is through networking and through communities that I'm a part of, okay? So yes, it is likely that online networking will never replace the value of in-person connections, but it is certainly true that it will continue to be an important method of growing relationships and building new ones, for sure. Like I said, I have 2 team members from Canada. I've never been to Canada, never. So otherwise, if it wasn't for social media and in the online space, I would have never met these people, because I've never been to their country. That they may have visited our country, they may have been in the US, but I've never been to Canada. So I would have never known them, and they definitely would not be on my team, right? So these are some important key pieces about networking and making the most of your networking efforts. And this is just a sample of the type of things that you could learn in the Networking Method Academy. And like I said earlier, the doors are still open to the Academy until the end of this month. They will close. So while the opportunity is still there, you could go ahead and take advantage of it, and so you can start building and making the most of your networking efforts, whether you network in person or whether you network online. I do both. I highly encourage you to do both, just because there's going to be benefits from both of them. I go to a lot of networking meetings online when I'm available to, but I also have some communities I'm a part of here in my local area. So if you don't network in person, you may want to do a little research and find out what's available in your local area where you can actually go and do some networking in person. So again, I will post about the Academy in the Facebook group, Relationship Communications, so you can take advantage of that if you like. Also about the VIP Club, our next meeting is next week. It is our party session where we will be celebrating all our wins and then setting our goals for next month. I hope everyone has a great holiday weekend, and I'll see you again soon.